to another episode of Unfiltered Romance Nights. We are your hosts, Kolleen.
And I'm Marjorie. Today's episode, we have USA Today best-selling author of contemporary and new adult romance, Saffron Kent. Welcome to Unfiltered Romance Nights podcast, and we are excited to have you.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. I'm sorry for my nasally voice. I'm just coming out of a cold. So
No problem.
Before we take a deep dive into your books, we have a few questions to get to know you better.
Of course, yes.
So how did you get started in your writing journey? Did you have another profession first?
Oh yeah, totally. Yes. I never thought that I would be a writer. I thought that this was something that really special people do, and I'm not one of those people. But I always loved reading. And I started with Harry Potter. I know that's super controversial these days, but yeah. I started with Harry Potter, then I got into romance reading and just never looked back. But I was preparing to be an immunologist. So I was all ready to do my PhD in immunology, and which is when I realized that I hated everything I was doing. And I really sucked at it. All. Like I did my bachelor, undergrad and my master's in biotechnology, immunology, and all of those things. But yeah, so it took me a long time to realize that. And then my husband, who was my boyfriend back then, he told me that, you are so miserable in your job and you cry about it every weekend. So why don't you pick something that you actually like and then cry about it? So, just to make all the tears count.
Yeah.
So I just went back to my roots. I just started exploring whatever I was interested in, and reading was the first thing that came to mind. I took an online romance writing course. I loved it. I loved it so much. So then I quit my job. I went back to school to study creative writing, MFA in creative writing, and I haven't looked back since. So it was like a winding, zigzaggy road that led to writing.
Well, glad it led you here.
Yeah, took me a long time.
So do you have any hobbies to help you unwind, or if you need a break when you're writing?
Oh man, okay, hobbies. I don't know, like all of my hobbies are just related to reading and stuff, like maybe listening to podcast. True crime podcast is what I listen to always. And now I have an 11-month-old.
Right.
So my hobby is just taking care of her. I mean, there's no room for hobbies. It's just
Right.
I take care of her. We're just like super super busy. And now that she's going to daycare, we're just sick every other week.
Yep.
So my hobby is staying healthy, and I would say my hobby is actually sitting down and getting to write for like straight 2 hours, which is very rare. It doesn't happen. So yeah.
Gotcha.
That's my hobby.
Do you get time to watch TV at all?
No.
Yeah.
Sadly,
Okay.
no. But I do. I would say that there are like a lot of shows that I used to love before, Adora came into our lives.
Yeah.
What were my favorite shows? Like Friends. For everybody
Yes.
loves Friends, right? And the other day I was like looking at all the Schitt's Creek clips on Facebook, because that's what I do these days. Like I just scroll through and I just watch
Right.
reels. And I was like, okay, maybe as soon as I have time, I'm gonna rewatch that. So yeah, I don't have a lot of time to watch TV these days. But yeah, I just like anything comedic, I would say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Office. I love The
Oh
Office.
my God, The Office. How could I forget? The Office is like, I don't even know. Like I don't think there's anyone who hasn't watched it. It's amazing.
I know you said earlier you kind of tend to read if you have any time, kind of thing. Do you have any favorite author?
Oh yeah. So I tend to do a lot of rereads because
Mhm.
it's just easier to get into, right?
Yeah.
So I've been rereading a lot of Kristen Ashley books. I love her so much. Like I love all her work. Kristen Ashley is one of my favorites. I love Tessa Bailey.
Oh, okay,
Her
yeah.
romances are amazing. Um, who else have I been rereading? Let me think. Oh, Julia Quinn. I love historical romances a lot, so I tend to go back to them. So Julia Quinn is another one of my favorites. Lisa Kleypas is another favorite.
Yes. Oh
I
my God, I started with her.
Yes. Oh, she is amazing. Julie Garwood is amazing. Who else have I been reading? Judith McNaught. All of these like old, I would say like 2090s romance authors. Who else have I been reading? Kristen Ashley. Oh my God, I can't think of any names. Like I'm off the top of my head. Tessa Bailey. Okay, that's it. But if
Okay.
something comes to me, I will I will tell you guys.
It's safe to say your favorite genre would be romance. I know that you said you listen to true crime podcasts. Do you read any of those books?
Yeah. Not really. I don't read
Okay,
thriller or murder mystery, and I don't know why I don't do that. But I read every other genre there
gotcha.
is. Like I read romance, all the literary fiction, speculative fiction, all any kind of fiction. Like you can see
Hmm.
the books in the back. But yeah, so but I don't know why I never pick up any mystery or any suspense or any of that. But I guess I just like to listen to them on my like
Yeah.
on podcasts and everything. So yeah.
So I know you said you went to kind of like school to study for writing and stuff. So when did you actually decide to first decide to write romance novel, and what was your inspiration?
So as I said, I was like really miserable, at my job. And I don't know, I was like, I just wanted to get out of there somehow, like do something, anything else. And then I went back to what I really like, which is reading and books. And I used to write a lot of poetry when I was growing up. It
Mhm.
all of it sucked, but anyway. So I was like, why don't I try my hand at writing, romance? So I don't remember specifically how I got into doing this online romance course. Maybe I just like stumbled upon it
Mm.
someday, like. And as I said, my husband or my boyfriend, he was very encouraging back then, and he was like, why don't you just like explore something, take a class, and it's only an online class.
Right.
So I just started taking that class, and um, I don't know, like every single like whatever class or lesson, whatever we did, it was just really enjoyable. And back then I was reading, what was I reading back then? Oh, back then it was like 50 Shades of Grey craze, like when,
Yeah.
so everyone was reading like BDSM and all those things. And I was like, oh, maybe I can write something. I never ended up writing a BDSM romance, but that was like my, okay, maybe I should try my hand at doing something like that. And yeah, so I just started like we would have like little lessons,
Hmm.
do character development, or like pick a character from a favorite novel and just write about that. So slowly we would just like, they would just like, I guess, help to jog our inspiration or whatever it is. So that's how I started. I wrote this, like maybe a couple of chapters of this romance that I don't even remember, but it was like a waitress falling in love with this billionaire.
Mm.
Never saw the light of the day. But anyway, yeah, so that's how I got started, and I really liked the act of just like sitting down and writing something. And I was like, maybe I can do this. So let me go back to school, because I don't know, I just wanted to do it the right way. You don't have to go to school to know
Right.
anything about writing. Just, disclaimer. But I just wanted to go back, maybe because I just wanted to get out of my job. I was like, whatever, I don't want to do this anymore. So yeah, I went to school, and oh god, that opened up like doors and doors. Like, it was so full of inspiration. I met so many people who shared the same passion for writing, and all the, all the literature that we used to read, and all the professors. They were like so encouraging, and they would just like, encourage you to think and do your own thing. And the best 2 years of my life, like best.
Yeah.
Yeah. And because, and back then when I joined when I was doing my MFA, I think what's Gone Girl had just come out or whatever, like everybody was reading Gone Girl.
Yeah.
So I was on this like dark romance thriller whatever kick. So then I wrote a story again that I haven't published, and I don't think I ever will have, like a dark romance. Yeah, so I just wrote a lot before I ended up writing what I write now, Forbidden Romances. So yeah,
Yeah.
read. That's what I will tell anyone who wants to write.
What does your friends and family think about you being a romance author?
Oh, they love it. They love it.
Oh, good.
Yeah, so they are. My mom is really proud. My mom and dad both. Actually, they were the ones who really pushed me into going into science. And when I didn't like that, and I was like, I can't do this anymore, so they were kind of like, okay, well, we are sorry that we pushed you into something that you didn't like, but you do your thing. So they're very proud. They're very proud. They always tell everyone. My husband is always telling everyone, oh, my wife writes romance novels. He's gifting people my books. I'm like, don't do that.
Oh no.
And yeah, everyone is really supportive, and they're proud.
Has your mom or dad read your books?
Oh God, no. No, they have not.
Okay.
I always tell them not to, and they listen to me. I'm very happy about that. But they're always like, we were at this dinner or whatever, and we told them that you write romance novels, and we gave your pen name. Like, Mom, why would you do that? But like they're supportive. They're very supportive.
Yeah.
But they haven't read it, and I'm
Okay.
they're not readers. So.
Oh, that's very okay. So we're gonna move on to the publishing area. How many books do you typically release in a year?
Oh God,
Yeah.
2. No, not more than 2. I've never been able to do more than 2.
Oh, okay.
Some years I only do 1. So.
Mhm.
Now, what book would you say was the most difficult to write?
Oh. Let's see. I would say all of my books are like when I'm writing them, they're very difficult. I'm like, okay, I can't figure anything out. But if I had to choose, I would say the latest one that I wrote was very difficult, mostly because of, we had a newborn at home, right? So it was very, very, very difficult, like physically demanding. And usually it's tough on me alone, because like I am the one who's writing it, and everyone else at the like my husband is okay, and he just watches me struggle. and I torture him a little bit with my plots and like all those discussions and everything. But this time around he felt it too, because he was the one taking care of our baby, like waking up during the night and just giving me time to write. So I would say, hands down, this book was the hardest to write, just because of the circumstances.
Right.
Yeah, so very hard. Never repeating that again. And I don't know how that's going to happen, because now we were so happy when, I feel bad saying it, but we were so happy when we sent Adora to daycare. We were like, okay, now we're going to have some time for ourselves. But now every other week she brings home germs.
I know.
Yes.
So
It's like a petri dish.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Right there.
Yes.
I know.
I would say it will eventually get better. I think it's like once they stop putting things in their mouth, it gets better.
Oh my
Like,
God.
they're not.
When is that gonna happen? And now I think her colds have been like overlapped. Like last week she got a cold, which I caught. And then this morning she woke up with a fever of 101. So I think her cold, she was getting better, but now she had, I think cold overlapped,
Mhm.
and now we were thinking maybe we'll get sick again.
It's a
Hopefully not.
it's like
Yeah.
just a circle, like
Oh God. Yeah.
and
So
then
like she gives us germs, and then I think I give my germs back to her. I don't know what's happening. So it's like we're stuck in this cycle, but everyone is like,
I mean
uh,
it will eventually get better as she gets older. So I would say
I
that.
hope so.
Yeah.
So how do you come up with your, the book titles and the cover designs?
Oh my God. Okay. Book titles, I would say I just I listen to music a lot, and I
Mhm.
just love, like, I like poetic titles. I don't want to say, I can't say like titles can be poetic, but I just try to bring some poetry into them a little bit.
Mhm.
So whenever I'm listening to music, and if there's a phrase that I like or something, I'm like, oh wow, this could be a good book title. So
Okay.
that's how I come up with my titles. Book covers. I like hot guys. Like all my so that's how I just like, hot guys is all of my ebooks are hot guys. And then when people started getting crazy about the special edition covers and all of that,
Mhm.
so I always thought that, I always give my guys a stage. Now it's time to give my girls a
Mhm.
stage as well. So that is how I came up with these illustrated girls that I wanted to do. That's my special edition paperback discrete covers, whatever you want to call it. Um, and now I have these like bodice rippery vintage inspired covers that are on my website, and that is just because I love historical romances. As I said,
Yes.
that's how I got into romance. That's what I was reading while growing up. So I was like, everyone is super crazy about discrete covers. I just want to bring back what I really loved about romance. So I was like, why don't I do something bodice rippery? So that's how I got the idea of doing vintage style covers. So yeah.
Yeah, those covers are beautiful.
Yeah, they're
Thank
I
great.
love
you.
it.
Thank
Now,
you.
did you draw the
Oh no, no, no.
Oh,
Like
okay.
I just told my cover designer that this is
Okay.
what I want. I tell her that, okay, so my heroine, she's obsessed with my hero, and my hero is really grumpy, and he's like, I just want like a pose where you show that he's very grumpy and dominating, and she's like so in love with him. How can we draw that pose? And then she does that.
Oh,
So I just like tell her scattered thoughts that I have in my head, and she just like brings them to life. She's very talented, very, very talented.
yeah, I mean they're
Now, I know you
beautiful.
said you love your model covers,
Yes.
but what
Yeah.
would be your preference? Do you love a discreet or a model cover?
Model.
Okay.
Hot guys,
Yeah.
hot guys, hot guys. Always. I really hope that they never go out of style. I mean, I know there's like a wave of discrete covers, and waves, trends come and go.
Yeah.
Really hope that hot guys never go out of style.
They're never going to
I
go out
don't
of
think they
style,
Oh my
would
God,
please.
ever go out of style
right?
because
Right. I feel like romance is like geared towards like women like us, and we like hot guys, and
Right.
and
Yeah.
I'm okay admitting that.
Yeah.
So
I mean
hot guys always.
you have like somebody has to pick up the book to get, what better way to attract somebody with hot guy in it.
I know. I love hot guys.
That and the not safe for work artwork. I love that.
Yeah.
Oh my
But I
God.
have to keep that hidden. I have
Yeah.
a 9 and 11-year-old.
You can't bring that in. I mean, you can't. But I had this like idea of doing NSFW covers. But I'm like, how many covers can a person have for their book? Like, I already have 3 covers. But yeah, if one day I get an opportunity to do that, I would love to do like NSFW covers for all my books, and only sell them on my website, because you can't sell them on like retailers, and
Yeah.
they're gonna kick you out.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I mean, unless you have like a specific bookstore where no children goes
I
in,
don't
and
even I don't even know if they have bookstores like that. I don't know if they have bookstores like
I don't think so yet.
You're in New York?
Yes.
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 Just the sign that says 18 and over.
Right? Yeah. I mean, I think you
Durham,
can
Manhattan.
get away with it in New York if you have that sign.
Sure.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, probably.
Then you don't know who's coming in. So
Yes,
Unless you
that's
start carding
also.
everybody.
sketchy characters.
Oh God, no.
Pretty
Yeah, I
much.
think you can do it online.
Yeah.
I don't know
Yeah,
if you can
for
do it
sure.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
like
Online.
an actual location.
Um, do you use like playlist for your books? And
Oh yeah, totally.
Mhm.
I always have a Spotify playlist. All of them are available, on public. They're open to public, and I give links in the back of my book, or maybe like in the front, whatever. Just for people to get started, go and listen. And always. But I can't listen to music while writing. I just need like pin drop silence. But when I'm not writing, and when I'm just thinking about the book, and when I just want to be like, I want to stay in the mood, of the book. So I always have like music on and playlist, definitely.
Okay. Now, for anyone who's listening that you are a new author for, what was your first book, and about when did you write it?
Okay, so my very, very, very first book was published by this very small traditional publisher. That book is unpublished now, and it's
Oh.
only available on my website because it's been like years. But my first book, indie published, is called The Unrequited. It came out in 2017,
Oh,
and
okay. Yeah.
yes, it's a student teacher romance. It's about this girl um who gets obsessed with her poetry professor, and she stalks him all over campus. And the professor, he's like this cold, grumpy asshole kind of character. He's married, his marriage is falling apart, and they start an affair. So it's like a very toxic push and pull.
Oh, okay.
And she it's like where she falls first, but he falls harder, kind of.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So yes, that was my first books, a student teacher romance.
I love those.
Oh yes,
I'm gonna have
yes.
to write that down.
I mean, they're oldies, but they're goodies. Very good.
Yeah.
Student teacher.
Let me
sure
tell
I
you something.
have that
Books
book.
do not expire.
I agree with that. Books never expire. Like, yeah. I mean, I know people say, "Oh, I'm bored of this trope," but come on, there's always like a new perspective or new direction that you can, give to that trope. So no, I don't think tropes expire ever.
Nope.
Okay. So we're gonna switch to your book, Oh, You're So Cold. So in the beginning of the book, you indicated there were some similarities between you and Isadora, and that this was your first Indian FMC.
Yeah.
Would you say that some of the other stories also have some personal experiences?
Oh, totally. The one that I described, the Unrequited, it was based on the fact that I was obsessed with this guy in college. He wasn't a professor. He wasn't. But I was really obsessed with this guy. Okay, I just saw him one time, and I got so obsessed. I don't know why. I can't even like remember now why I was so obsessed with him. But I had this huge crush on him, and I would just like and he wasn't in the science department. I think he was in journalism or whatever. So, and his building was different from my building, like my part of the campus. So I would just go to his part of the campus, and I would wait for him to finish his class and come out of his building. And my friends, everyone knew that, oh, she's into this guy. So they would like tell me that, oh, we saw him by this building. And so I would just like run to that building. Anyway, so that was like my crazy college days. And he never liked me back. So that's why The Unrequited, the title. But in my book, he obviously likes her back, and they get together in the end. That is the magic of romance novels. So yeah, that was I guess I was just so impacted by that. And when I was doing MFA, they always tell you to write something that you know. And that was the first experience that came into my mind. So I wrote this book while I was doing my MFA. I came up with the character, the main female character, while doing the while doing my classes. And yeah, so always and because I love poetry, so the guy was a poetry professor.
Yeah.
um all of my books are taken from my personal experiences. My book Medicine Man, Dreams of 18, the female characters, they suffer from like anxiety, depression. I suffer from that. Generalized anxiety disorder. So definitely, I feel like every author does that. You will find personal experiences everywhere in whatever book you read.
Yeah.
Mm.
And I
That's
think
great. And I
that's
loved that you put a little bit of yourself, like your culture into it.
Yes.
I love that.
Oh yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
yeah. Well, I mean, definitely, like we need more, I guess, representation. Like
Yes.
diversity and
Yes.
the books that we read. So yeah, that's amazing though. So
Thank you.
Now, the next book in the Bardstown series is, I think it's A Wreck You Make Me.
Yes.
Is it safe to say that that's Shepard's and Jupiter's book?
Yes. Yes.
Next
It is safe
part
to say
two.
that.
When will we get that about?
Okay, so let's see. So I'm a slow writer, as you already know. I only published like 2 books. So I'm writing this cowboy book right now, which is due to come out in December. It's marriage of convenience turned forced marriage, like a darkish cowboy romance, which I haven't written dark ever. So let's hope I do justice to it. And then I will write the Bardstown novel, which and it takes me like 5 to 6 months to write a novel. So right now it's up for pre-order. On Amazon it says June 9th. So I'm gonna keep that date.
Yeah.
June 9th is when I'm thinking of releasing. It won't be later than that, that's for sure. So it could be earlier. But at this rate, that I'm getting every other week. But June will be when I release it. So yeah. I'm excited about it.
Yeah. I think everybody's excited after what happened.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
Oh my God, yes.
So for any first time readers of yours, is there a particular reading order that you recommend?
Not really. I mean, all of my books are standalones. I would just say that if you were starting a series, it's always best to start with book 1. Yeah. Even though you can understand everything that's happening whenever you start. But it's just because I like to read that way. I want to know everything, like how it all started. So I would say book 1 of any series. But if you're into just like true standalones with no series, I would say start with The Unrequited, just because that's the first book of mine. But yeah, all of mine are standalone, so people can start anywhere they want to.
Oh, good to know. But I'll probably start from your very first. I mean, I have all the books, so my husband got them for me for my birthday, like the illustrated.
God. Oh, I think I know. I think
it's
I remember
a big one.
Marjorie. Yes. I think it was a big one. Thank you for ordering, by the way.
I just sent him
the screen.
No, it's the illustrated ones, the hardcover.
Oh, the illustrated. Okay.
Yeah. I hope you enjoy them whenever you get to them.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm now that I'm not doing any ARC reading, so I can kind of read whatever I have. I'm trying not to go on TikTok and I need to finish all my.
Oh, that takes over your life.
Takes over.
Yeah, it does. Stay away from that.
I try to.
It's hard.
Oh my God, yeah.
Would you say, and I ask all the authors this, would you say that it's easy or difficult to write these spicy scenes?
Oh, very good question. Is it easy for me? I think I just have to find my rhythm. For if I'm in the mood, I can just write it, straight away. I can never skip. that is just as a writer, I can never skip. I know a lot of people just skip. They say, oh, and write sex scene like in big brackets of bold letters, and then they move on. I can never skip any scene. Like I have to write, I have to go chronologically, or it won't make sense to me. It's not hard. I have other hard scenes that I would say are harder than spicy scenes. But they are not the hardest not the hardest. If you're asking, I mean, you didn't ask, but if you're asking for the easiest scenes, I would say when they break up and they're just like fighting, that's the easiest scenes for me. Like my fingers are like flying on the keyboard. I'm like so happy that, like all the angst, like give me all the angst when they're fighting, or he's like, I don't care for you. But of course he does, like secretly, maybe because I know like secretly he does, love her. But like on the page, he's going, whatever, go away. I just love those scenes. And those are like the easiest for me to write. Easy.
That's right. I think, like you say, that's the easiest part, but I think that as a reader, it's kind of like the ones
very hard to read. I know.
Like, that's torture.
That's the ones that like rile up the reader. Like,
I know
what's going on.
I love reading them. Like as a reader, if things are going well between characters, I'm like skipping pages. I don't care.
Yeah.
And when I see, and then it's like, oh, she just found out the truth about him, or something, like, oh my God, like good things are happening in the books. I'm like glued to the pages and I'm like reading everything. But yeah, I lose interest when things are going well between characters. I'm like, who cares? I don't care. I mean, they're gonna get together in the end. I know that it's an ATA, right? It's a romance novels. I trust the authors that I'm reading, but I want to see how bad it gets. Yeah. So I like the angst a lot. Yeah.
I mean, I think that's, like that's how I fell in love with bully romance. It's always high intensity. Yes. And there's always something happening. It's like no rest until, you get the HA
until portion. The end.
Right.
Until the yes. And I love doing that in my books as well. Like no one says I love you until the last chapter. Like I prevent people from saying that. Even my heroines, I mean, maybe they get to say I love you, but my heroes, I'm like, you're not saying I love you until the end. I just don't like it like that.
It's the fun part. You kind of keep them guessing. It's like, does he really like her, or
I know. Yeah.
I like that. So I'm gonna put you on a spot a little bit. Out of all your characters in your books, who is your favorite couple? And then, do you have just a favorite MMC and a favorite FMC?
Favorite couple? Oh man, I don't know. Favorite? I want to say favorite couple. Reed and Callie from A Gorgeous Villain. Only because I don't want other my couples to feel bad, but they only edge out because it's a pregnancy book. And I love pregnancy books. I love them. And because I was pregnant like just last year, so I have like this connection with the pregnancy couples. And because of which I also want to say that Tempest and Ledger are my like second favorite, because and I was pregnant while writing that book, so I have like a very strong connection with them. But anyway, Reed and Callie, because of the pregnancy book, I just love how he is so possessive of her, and he's like this bad boy in the book, but he is just so good to her. And the hopeless romantic in me just loves that, that fantasy of turning this bad boy into this good guy. So Reed and Callie. And favorite main character. Heroine, I would say Isadora, because she's just like so fresh in my mind, and she's so, like me. And hero, again, Reed. I would say Reed is like my favorite character. Hero.
Okay. Now, all right, so we already talked about future projects. Yes. Are there any genres, subgenres, or tropes that you haven't written yet that you think you might?
Okay, so I'm doing dark, like darker than my other books for sure. So you're gonna see a lot of, I don't know, like kidnapping and all that.
Oh, I love it.
Nice.
Yeah, so and forced marriage and all those things. Um, so I'm definitely writing that. I haven't written a stepbrother, like step sibling romance.
Oh,
So
those are
I
my
really
favorite.
want to write that. I don't want to say a lot, but I think you will see me writing a step sibling romance um very, very soon. Like very soon.
Mhm.
It's
Like so soon.
so soon. Very soon. Yes. We already talked about that book, so
Okay, okay.
that's all I'm gonna say. We already talked about that book. So yes, it's happening. And that's one of my I always wanted to write that. So I'm very glad that I'm getting to write it.
Be a lot of happy people.
Yes, I'm very happy. I'm very happy. I'm always thinking, like I always say, if no one reads my books, I'm gonna read my books because I just write for myself, like whatever I'm interested in and whatever I wanna write or read more of, and I haven't found anything like that yet. So yeah. And I'm just lucky if people read it. So I just yeah.
Excited. Okay. No, I know we talked about a little bit, like special editions. Do you have
Yeah.
anything coming out this year that's new or next year?
Oh, okay. So I don't this is like I have these I don't know what to call, like cartoon character art for my all my couples. I have them made. I'm dropping them as stickers on my website store. So I'm going to do the reveal next week. I'm debating if I want to make them into like book covers as well. But the only thing that's stopping me is, as I said, I already have like 3 covers for like my books. And how many covers can people want? So I, yeah, I'm never gonna say no to special edition covers. I love them. I love collecting them. I don't have anything set that's coming out. But I would love to do something. As I said, NSFW. Oh my God! If people say yes, I would
Yes.
in a heart.
I think
Yes.
I think people would say yes. I mean, I
Yeah,
would
I mean,
buy it.
oh
You
wow,
know.
I would love to do that. I would love to have like an NSFW edition for all my covers. Maybe I will do that next year. I don't know. I don't know. I'm very
Even if you like, if you didn't do it like on the cover, do like a dust jacket and have it like hidden behind.
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Because you
I
can
would
always
love-
you can
yes.
always display them if you need to. I mean, obviously I can't display them because
I can't either.
my child
No,
is
no
like
one can. I don't think
run
anyone can.
around.
But yeah, dust cover, like reversible dust jacket, could be awesome. Yeah. So I really want to do it. I don't know if I will because I don't want to like annoy people. Like, oh my God, Saffron, enough with your covers. But
What? No.
but I would love to do that.
I've
Yes.
seen other authors that have more than
Oh really?
5
Okay.
editions.
Oh,
So it's I think you'll be okay.
that maybe so. This is the sign. This is the push that I needed. Talking to you guys.
Yeah, there it is.
You're welcome, everyone, for your spending habits.
Yeah.
Oh boy, that's funny. How about, and I don't know, have you done any book signings or do you have any coming up?
Oh yes. So I'm going to Love in Vegas in October.
Ooh.
Yes. And then next year I'm doing a couple of signings. I think I'm trying to think if they already announced it, but I think they did. Anyways, I'm doing Apollicon, and then Rare London.
Oh, that'll be cool. That's so cool.
Yeah, I know. I've been wanting to go to that. So I haven't done any signings. Like I think the only signing that I did was back in 2018. And since then I haven't done any. So I'm sort of like entering into my signing era.
Yeah.
Starting this October. Love in Vegas, yes.
Oh, that'll be so fun.
That's
They are
awesome.
fun.
I'm excited. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think we hit every point on the checklist.
Oh yay.
That brings us to the end of the episode. I want to thank you for making time to meet with us. It was such a pleasure to meet you, and we are excited for all the books that will be coming out and or covers.
Yes, thank you, thank you, thank you. Yes, that was the push I needed. And thank you for thinking of me. Thank you for having
Absolutely.
me. It was such a pleasure to talk to you both. Okay.
We were so
Absolutely.
excited. Thank you so much.
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. Now be sure to follow us on our socials and make sure to subscribe to our podcast so you don't miss out on any new episodes. If you have any authors you would like to see on our podcast, just send us a DM on our Instagram or TikTok. See you next time.
See ya.